Hi everybody, Rochelle here from Québec, CICHLIDS. Today I decided to do something that was well overdue. I am going to take you on a feeding tour of my fish store. So I'm going to be feeding each and every fish in the fish store and bringing you along for the ride. So stay tuned. So before we get started, I want to invite you to subscribe to the channel. Whenever you subscribe, it really encourages me to continue delivering all this awesome fishy content. Also, I post a new video every week. If you are a true cichlid geek or fish geek, you will not want to miss a single one. For today, I decided to do this raw, not uncut. I don't do uncut. I stutter a lot when I'm on camera. I lose my words, so I might cut some parts out. So what you're going to be seeing are all my fish, all my tanks. I did not beautify them as I do in some other videos, and I get the good lighting ramps, I put the nice decorations in them. No, what you're seeing is what would happen if you came into my fish store and followed me while I was feeding. If you come to my fish store, please do not follow me while I am feeding. I need my personal space, but now just be the camera and you guys, just the symbolic of 5,000 people behind the camera is well enough for me. So let me show you what I'm going to be feeding my fish. Here they are. All of the pellets are from NORTHFIN. Here we have the jumbo formula, the 6 millimeters. This is for my big fish. I have some cichlid 3 millimeter left. I should have refilled this before starting. This is not going to be enough. Veggie 2 millimeters. This is for the Mbunas that I feed them. Some cichlid 1 millimeter. I feed this to most of the haps that are about 2 inches long, and all the Tanganyikans with small mouths. You'll see. I have some red flake and some green flake. These are my bulk brand that I've been selling for 10 years. And I feed this, I don't feed this much. I'm especially gonna be staying with the pellets, but I do use it a lot, especially if they're shy fish. I mix in some flakes for them too. And I have the kelp wafers from NORTHFIN as well. This is not written, I didn't write it on it. I guess it's because I could guess that it's kelp wafers. So here is the main course. So now we're at the entrance of the store. So we'll get started with the first tank, the one right behind me, my Severum with Anubias. I won't be feeding the Anubias. The Anubias are plants. They don't need pellets. So I only have 4 left. I'll be feeding them some cichlid 3 millimeters. They don't know what's happening. Look at them, they're oblivious. Sarcasm alert. Oop, surprise. I only feed them a couple of pellets and I watch them eat. I tend to go slowly. I don't want to overfeed. It's so easy to overfeed, especially when you have the flake foods. There's some going to the bottom. I don't mind because there's some botia lohachatas, some Pakistani loaches in there. Here you go. A little extra piece. Yum. Now let's go to the next one. So after that one, that's the one we just did. Now I'm going to be doing my Tropheus here. So I'll be feeding them a mixture of flake food and veggie 2 millimeters. The Tropheus arrived last week, so usually when they arrive, I feed them flake food at first to avoid bloat, because I'm so paranoid about that. No, this is boring. Let's come closer. So as you can see, these have been sold. That's what vendu means. Meaning that I will be shipping them out, but I wasn't shipping out during the holidays because it's utter chaos in the shipping companies. So I don't want to make my little fish suffer that. That's enough. All right, we're done with you. Now behind them, I hope this doesn't get you nauseous. Ta-da! 150 gallons of Mbunas. Now let's look at the fish. These guys are getting the full veggie, no flakes. They're trying to fatten them up. Let's go closer. All right. This is just a mix, actually. This is many male Mbunas in the same tank. Since it's a big aquarium, it's not as bad as if, let's say, you did this in a 30-gallon tank, but it is not suggested in your home, or unless you have a huge aquarium. I'm overfeeding them a little bit because they give me all these pretty little, look at this guy. He's giving me these looks. Feed me, okay. I get manipulated. Oh, one last one. We're done. Stop it. So here's the wall O aquariums, the old school one. We'll be eventually changing it in one of our Fish Store Extreme makeovers, but for now, it does the job. So for now, we especially kept this whole section for Mbunas. And actually, I even hate this wall even more because last week, the pump broke, and so what used to be an amazing system of aquariums with plumbing is now just a bunch of aquariums separated, so I'm really disappointed about that. Now let's start with the first aquarium. This is the A row. All my aquariums are numbered, so this is A3. Oh yeah, I number my aquariums. These are Mbunas, so they'll be getting the veggie formula as well. Close and get you closer there. So in here we have some Esteré red reds, Tropheus, Tropheus, some Chilumbas. I usually write them down in the bottom, but I figure there'll probably be many, so you'll just see my stock list and you'll see what I have. Look at these little guys. And there's some Greshaki in there as well. I just give them a couple pelts at a time, but I really move them all over the place, like a little bit for everyone. So if ever there's one that's way too dominant, everyone will end up getting it. Now some are falling to the ground, so we'll head off to the next one here, which is my big guys. Actually, these I've been wanting to bring in the 150 gallon for a little while, but it was the holidays and nothing got done because it's the holidays. Now let's see, I'm gonna get them up here. Oh, come up here. Yeah, I'm gonna zoom out a little. There are only 4 fish in here. Come on, come get it. Yay! You wanna eat on the other side? No, come here. There we go. I said 4, but they're actually 3. Technically 3 is a horrible number for Mbunas. You should not keep just 3 Mbunas in a 90-gallon tank. But you know, these are behaving, they're friends. And usually, yeah, I say 3 pellets per fish. These are big fish, tiny pellets. And, well, as you saw, I get manipulated a lot, so feed less. For the little tanks here, we're gonna go handheld with the camera because they're really small and they don't look really good. In my future Fish Store Extreme makeover, these will be 90 gallons or something else. I'm not the fan of the small with the big aquariums next to him. Anyways, so I'll be eating, so the Omnivorous Mbunas will be eating cichlid 1 millimeter, and my little herbivores will have the veggie 2 millimeters. For them, I will not give them as much as their neighbors. So here we have the Metria Climat Aurora. Come on up. They're still pretty tiny. Oh, look at them. They're still so tiny, but they become purple with a nice yellow belly. Okay, they get about, I feed them about 2 to 3 pellets each. That must have been what, 3? Okay, let's like give them a little more. Just because, oh, see, they didn't even eat it. I manipulated myself, for crying out loud. Here we have the Cynotilapia SP Lion. These are from my breeders. And they are, of course, hidden. Let's see if we can get them out with some food. Nope, not gonna happen. All right, obviously, we'll move to these later because they're herbivores and I still have some pellets left. Here, this is my breeders as well. Well, from my breeders, Cynotilapia Mara Point. Oh, let's try to get them, oh, they want more food. Look at that. Look at that. Now they're manipulating me, right? You guys saw it. So they're eating cichlid 1 millimeter because they're omnivores. So they can eat the herbivore diet if you put them in with herbivores and Mbunas. But This is perfect for them. All right, next door. Wow, this aquarium is gross. I told you this was raw footage, so you guys get to deal with these aquariums that I never show in my videos because they're so gross, right? All right, so these are gonna have to eat them on the ground. They fell too fast. They're so tiny. So we have some Petrotilapia Chitimba. These are from my new breeder colony that, spoiler alert, I'm going to be selling in the new year because my 2019 resolution for my breeders is really just to have peacocks and maybe yellow labs as well because, well, you can never have too many yellow labs. But I won't have any fancy Mbunas anymore. And here's some more marrow rocks. You can see you had the neighbors that we just fed. Now we're here. Same fish, just that I had a lot of them, so I put them in 2 tanks. Okay, let's go. Also hate these little tanks. Look at the crust. That you have to do, you have to put silicone inside the aquarium, inside the frame, to avoid the water from seeping out. Oh, look at that. I haven't done it, so for now, it stays ugly. Now let's go upstairs for some more omnivore, and actually, you know what? The Sinotilapia lion are technically carnivore, Mbunas. They'll be eating 1 millimeter NORTHFIN cichlid formula. So here are the lions. See, the aquarium, usually this is completely full, but since my pump broke, I'm losing water every time I sell some. The evaporation's crazy. So here they're 1 millimeters. There aren't many left in here. There were a lot more, but it's a popular fish. It's really nice. It's yellow with black bars. Really, no one's gonna eat the last pellet? My God, this is just like at home. All right. Next door, we have the Astatotilapia calyptera. It's a little thin, but trying to fatten them up. Obviously, the fatter ones always leave first, leaving you with the less dominant ones, so. And in case you're wondering, yes, I only have a couple in these 2 aquariums. It's just a couple of little Mbunas in 90-gallon tanks. These are the tanks less seen, so I don't put many fish in them. In case you didn't notice, we have to go really high to feed them or to see them, so most average-sized people don't see the top ones. But they're there. And I have some very nice fish in my top tanks. So when you come over, you have to look in every aquarium. This is fun. I'm showing you all of my fish, even the ones that aren't as popular, that I never really showcase. Having a lot of fun with this. I have some big haps and peacocks and some tiny crabrows, which are omnivorous Mbunas, and haps and peacocks are omnivores as well. But look at these guys, they're so big. This is my female tank. All right, can't see it very well. These are a couple of random females, all identified. Or, you know, males that never colored up. I put them in here. I'm not gonna get rid of them because they're usually species that are not rare, but you know, if you're looking for a big Calyptera female, well, there's some in this tank. But you won't notice them. You got a little female Eucerie, the midnight peacock. After that, enough with them. Like I said, these are tanks that I rarely show. I don't show you all my tanks. I show you the fabulous ones. Now the crabro. Let's try to get you in a. All right, come and eat. Look at that crazy. Got a lot of these. Trying to get you one that's there. The lighting's horrible in this tank. You think they had enough? No, they didn't. Of course they didn't have enough. You can't see very well because there's the entrance door, so you have all the sunlight coming out. Let's try to get them here. There's still many fish, so I have to really feed this tank a lot. And I make them sink a little as well because once we're done, they all look in the sand. They're all eating. Look at our little girls next door. Just browsing through the sand. Not a lot, obviously, because I set it and pointed the camera at them. or not the ones that I'm pointing at, whatever. We're done with the wall, and then we go on the other side. There's my library, where I got all those awesome gifts. One of my friends. I have beautiful encyclopedias in there, but they're mine. So these are some herbivores. Whoa, herbivores. See, this is why I cut stuff usually. I'm not cutting this one out though. These are rusty cichlids with, there's a little Tropheus phoenix. Wow, we cannot see much. Let's just feed them. Yeah, this lighting is old bulbs, the power glow bulbs. Once they're done, you don't notice it, but you don't see anything anymore. Resties. Oh, I have some acai and gara in there as well. I'm acting surprised. I actually knew they were there. I just forgot to mention them. Oh, and here's my little phoenix. Hi. Hi. You can't see much. This is an orange Tropheus. I only got one. I tried to import a whole colony. I only got one or two. Oh, the two. Where's the other one? Look at that. In this aquarium, wow, this is like practically empty. I had a breeding of Ara Galeria Reef. There are probably like one or two left. Wow, that's way too much food for one or two, guys. Do not use this video as a reference for anything. I didn't think they'd come out. Look at them. Only a couple left. Yeah, over here they're pretty rare, this fish, the Ara Galeria Reef. That back strip in the back. It's so ghetto. Usually two Mbunas, if you leave them alone in the tank, they could fight. But, you know, I watch them, and later on, you know, I have some growing up, so I'll put some more in. Or actually, I'll probably just bring out the colony because, like I said, I won't be doing Mbunas anymore. So I'm really liking this whole handheld thing. It's a lot easier than the tripod. So moving on to the other wall of aquarium. So let's see. Behind me, that's where we come from. And then we go here to more walls, more aquariums. That one on top is the last one we're gonna do because there is a fabulous, gigantic frontosa in there, but there's no light. So that one I'm gonna have to beautify because I want you guys to be able to see it. We'll be doing that one last. So let's go under here in my peacock tank. This is, well, peacock, there probably haps in, yeah, there are haps in there as well. Most of these peacocks are from my breeders, and this is where I put them. This is the fabulous 6-foot tank in the entrance. The one, you know, when you come in, you see it, and it's always amazing. Eat up. Let's move the lighting closer. If you've watched last week's video where I use a red laser pointer to attract these fish, you can imagine how crazy they are, right? If they're like that with the red laser dot, they're as crazy with the food. Eat up. Everybody ate a little. They're only eating once today, so phew. One last one. I usually just look at the fish to know when I'm done feeding. Like usually they go to the bottom, like this little OB here, and they're just munching on their food. He's not hungry anymore. These guys are done. Here we have a 75-gallon Tanganyika tank, and I forgot to light up. There we go. I don't have a lot left in here, so I'm gonna have to fill it back up. This is a very gorgeous tank. So I'm feeding a bit of 1 millimeter. Oh, hello. These are the Calvis white that are coming up to eat. The other Tanganyikans can be a little shy when it comes to food. Plus I see my big Alton Prologus right over here. He's a little bit irritated. They like the big pellets. When I put the little ones in, he sort of gives me attitude, so there you go. Get your big pellets. Hope the little ones don't choke on them. The Regan usually just waits till everything falls to the ground, and then he munches in the sand like the pulsar that just hid there. On the ground here, you have one of the red devils. They used to be all together, but as I was selling them, they were less and less, and they were getting mean with each other. So I just separated them. This one's in a 6 foot on the ground, and he's the only one that's that the kids are able to see. So he's made a lot of friends. I also have a couple of others. I'll grab my pellets. So there's one here. I put these in the small tanks. So in the small tanks, it's a little less fun for them, but they're only there temporarily. And the people see them a lot more. Oh, he didn't fill his mouth up. He usually does. Oh well. Now let's go to the other one. Here. He likes his food. Okay, well, one's all you want. That's all you're gonna get. The other aquariums are mainly haps, and I have my Lake Victoria in these aquariums as well. So in here we have Venistus and dolphins. Oh, and the little one-eyed labido, yellow labido. Here we have nothing. I sold everything the other day. I'm gonna have to fill that up. In here we have the first specimens of my Haplochromis ruby green colony that I took out. Look at that. They're still tiny, but they're starting to color up. Look how cute. I'll link the video where I show you my new colony. You already ate. Nice try. And here is more Lake Victoria, my Astatotilapia latifasciata. These I grew myself. Looking at me like, oh, you're so cheap. Get more food. I often import a bunch of big ones, and they breed like crazy. So I keep the babies, since, well, latifasciata is always tank bred anyways. So, and the babies that come out are pretty nice. I can get some good colors on there. So you've got the yellow and the red starting to come out. The lines are nice. It's good enough for me. And my standards are pretty high, so good enough for me is very good. Oh, look. They're all eating. This is a sign for me to, oh, look at this one. This is a sign for me that I should stop feeding them. All right, so we'll go to the top tank later. Let's take this tray, and we are going here to my Altolamprologus. These are wild caught Altolamprologus who just ran away as soon as they saw the camera. So let's look at them. Look at these beauties. My camera's about to die, so I might have to cut this short. I don't know what happened. They get spooked with the camera. How weird. Okay. So moving on from these, right next to them, I have a little something that I tried, a little aquascape. This aquarium is for sale, and I figured it'd be a lot nicer if I showcased what you could do with it. Check it out. The ramp on these is the Zoomed Aquasun. There are two of them because the aquarium is pretty large. It could do with just one, but with all the lighting in here, it was a little weird. So let's just feed these little guys. Just flakes for these, they're so tiny. Look at the rock and the plants, that's pretty. Needs more rocks, that's for sure. What would you guys put in here to make it nicer? Tell me in the comments. I mean, obviously rocks here, but like a plant or something. All right, can't wait to see what you have to say. Let's go here on the other side to the Peacock tank. Here, if you're following me on Facebook, I started putting a couple of pictures of these fish. Obviously, I used the Zoomed ramps. I didn't use this because we can't see anything. These guys love to eat. Let's move a little more to this side because there's a pump and it's throwing all the food away. Can't see well. Look at these guys. These guys love to eat. They're not camera shy. They just had their photo shoot yesterday. They know what it's about. You know, they act like I never fed them, but I do feed them. That's enough. Behind this other aquarium, there's another 125-gallon. In here I have a couple of peacocks, some Victorians. Ugh. The lemon jake there, that's one of the ones that was in my breeding that I took out because the dominant male, he didn't like him. And he was the star, so. Now this one's fattening up. He's getting some nice colors. And those female Asato tilapia, the white and black barred ones, those you have to feed a lot. Lake Victorian cichlids, they get thin real easy. I'm gonna put some flake in case those princesses, they didn't get any. And look at that. Oh, if you look on my Facebook too, today I posted a nice picture of a princess of Burundi eating. Getting pretty good. It's having a little trouble with the 3mm. It'll find something. Look at that guy. I can't wait for him to come out. So I put the flakes because he's a little shy. This is a Neolamprologus, but it's not one of those brown lulu peas. This is a Bifasciatus. These are his regular colors. It's a rare Tanganyikan cichlid. Ooh. He's looking for those flakes. Where did you put them? I'll find him, he's a big boy. Now let's go to this wall of aquarium that in one of my first seasons you saw me set up. In this aquarium are some, these are more tiny princess of Burundis. Give them some flakies, take food. And there are some Julidochromis in there. These are the Conscriptus, some of my from my breeding. And there's also a Lulupi from a previous batch, but I got another tank filled with these guys. Okay, if you notice, I didn't give them a lot of food. I was being cheap. These are tiny. I get them mostly flake foods because they're very small still, the Julidochromis and some cichlid 1mm. Good for everything, and I overfed. Oh well. I've got 2 AquaClear 70s on here. You've got to overfilter when you feed like I do. In this tank, there aren't many fish, so I'm going to put a bit of flake food to draw them out. They're kind of scared. It's mainly some Demasoni and this one Sinotilapia Giallo. Look at him. Ooh. Hello. Okay. Let's get this. Okay, so there are a couple Giallos. More Demasoni than I thought. Or are we just seeing double? Because they're moving fast. Look at this guy. Ooh. So you see when I show you images or videos of like cichlids moving slowly? It's a lot harder than you'd expect. I hope you can see this. The Giallo is one of the most beautiful zebroids, or previously called Afras, with his yellow top. I don't know if you were able to see him. He's moving really fast. Well, that's what you get when you don't put many fish in a 75-gallon tank. I'm gonna fill it up soon. On top, it's a little more chaotic. You saw these in the video a couple weeks ago. They're still moving as fast and still as crazy. These are Demasoni and Labidochromis whites. They are eating NORTHFIN veggie 2mm. Come on, eat up. I let a lot of it fall because, I mean, these fish are all over the place. Look at them. So ones that didn't come up, they'll just eat on the ground. They're fish, right? They don't need a plate. There we go. Next to them are the Pseudotropheus solesi. They're a lot less than when I started or when I made my video a couple of weeks ago, with the Labidochromis hongi, the purple ones. This is hard to open. So hard to focus on, right? Look at these guys. So I'm just throwing in the 2 millimeters and they run after it. Everybody eats. I'm starting to see the orange on this guy's dorsal fin. They're still young, so they're all gray, but eventually these become a light purple with the orange on the dorsal fin. Beautiful fish. Now let's go over here. Look at that. All right, let's go in these small aquariums. Coffee to go faster. Let's roll. All right. So here I really feed per tank what they need. The Calvus Black, and I also feed according to how they react, how I know them. So these usually I'd be feeding cichlid 1 millimeter. They're a little shy, so I've been throwing in some flakes at first to let them understand that the camera means friends and that friends are feeding them. Next up are the Lalupis, and if you remember that video in the aquarium I hate so much because of all these things, the streaks. Ugh. And these will come up. I just give them, once I know they come up to eat, I just give them pellets that they can take it. That's a 1 millimeter. So they've got tiny mouths. I overfed. Everyone had their bite to eat. So you see, you don't have to feed at that much. I mean, sure, they'll be nibbling in it all day, but you don't have to give too much food. It just pollutes your filter more. Here are some lohachatas, some loaches. Those I just throw in some, I don't know if you saw, I just threw in some cichlid 1 millimeter. And they go crazy. These are omnivores. They actually usually eat the melanoid snails, those gray yucky things that end up in your aquarium. Once you've had aquariums for so long, well, sometimes it just happens. They come on a plant, they come in a fish, in something secondhand you bought that you wish you hadn't. These guys eat them. These are the golden head compressiceps. See, these, they're a little more used to the food. Still give them a little bit of flakes. And some pellets. And there we go. And I overfed. God. I never said I was good at not overfeeding my fish. Especially not on camera. When you do the demonstration, that's when nothing goes well. Some more Julidochromis. These are a little bigger than the ones earlier. There's one, a little yellow lab in there, and I think there's some Crebensis as well. They're technically not compatible, but these have been living together. They came together, so I left them together. All right. Put some pellets. They're completely camera shy. They all hid. Usually I'll take my time with this, I'll look at it, make sure everyone eats. Usually the yellow lab will come out. Ah, there we go. So Julidochromis dickfeldi. Oh, too much flakes. They'll eat a little later. Their little raccoon faces. Like I said, this is raw footage, so some days they don't eat as much, and then so we have to adjust the other days. Maybe I'll feed less pellets and just throw some flakes in the filter, because see, when the flakes come down in the filter, they usually go after it. Next to them are the Ocellatus Gold. These aren't shy. They're so not shy, they'd eat my face off if they could. It's a pretty tough fish. Look at them. Ah, there's no food left. There's no food not left. There's no food at the moment. Here you go. All right, they won't need flakes. They're so tiny. But don't be fooled. They're tiny, but they can take on fish like 10 times as big as them. And last but not least in this row, there is my jewels. These guys are a little shy. Oh wow, look at this one colored up since yesterday. They all end up coloring up. Even they start off less colored up, and then in time they take their colors. And of course I sell them as soon as they're colored up, and you always see those that aren't as colored. So for them, I'll be giving a little, just a pinch of flakes. Oh, they're not as shy as I thought they'd be. But with shy fish, they usually run after flakes. That's like the best trick I have. Cuties. Eat your food before it pollutes your filter, and I feel bad for overfeeding you. No, there's no more. Don't give me that look. So now we go to the wall of aquarium that we really worked hard on. Is it last year? This year? No, not this year. We're January 2nd. So in here, I have some tiny Venistus. By tiny, I mean about 2 inches long. There are some peacocks that are oddly not as colored as they should. They'll color up in time. It's actually a female. There's a big bleakery, Paratilapia bleakery, the starry night cichlid. It's not black today, too bad. It usually goes full black with the white spots, but it depends on his mood of the day. There's an awesome half as well. Can't remember that one's name. Tiny OB. All right. I am feeding these exclusively. We'll start off with the 3 millimeters and see how the Venistus are doing. Oh, there's some plastic here. Sticker. Whatever. All right. Food. The Venistus don't seem to have any trouble with a 3 millimeter. That's why I feed him that. But you know, you see what your fish like, you see what it does. And if you bought too big, well, it's not that bad because they'll grow eventually. Just get smaller food. But these guys are eating it all. Ooh, my Banshee took on some colors since yesterday. I was actually mentioning him when I said the non-colored ones. It's looking good. Let's be happy. Some of them didn't eat, so I'm gonna go in the middle section. Threw some all over the place and just sort of for everyone to eat, because some are scared. See, this one was hiding. Okay, so now there's food all over the ground, so the more scared fish will be able to eat. If they can figure it out. Come on. All right. This guy's making me look bad. Oh well. Next up is the full half tank from the shipment that I posted in one of my previous videos a couple weeks ago. Look at these guys. All right. There's this big pleco. It's gonna eat everything that I overfeed anyways. Woohoo! Yeah, Malawi haps and peacocks are usually the ones running after the food. There's my Victorian. He looks a lot better than when I took my video, right? Gained some pounds there. Although you saw how I feed. So now we're gonna go in the 3 top rows. In this 125 gallon, I have some Paratilapia bleakeri, some Copadicromis borlei cadangos, there, and the bleakeri. This is the black ones I was talking to you about. That they usually go black, but they change from one day to the next. I'm feeding them slowly because some of them aren't ready, and eventually those that eat faster, their mouth is full, so they can't take it all, and they'll just spit it out. Look at that one in the back. Look at this guy. They'll just spit it out eventually. No, you can't have more. Oh wow, he can. I don't know what his plan is. Can't eat all that. That's okay, baby. We've all been there. All right, woo. So let's go feed the frontosa. Now, the aquarium is a little dirty because when I was setting up the light, I accidentally hit the power bar and closed all the power. So let's go see this big guy. This is a wild-caught frontosa from Mabilibili. He always was big, but you know what? He's a big fan of being fed, so usually comes out with food, but it's not used to the light. Go. It's a little scared of the light, but it's okay. He usually comes up and eats in my hand. Look at this guy. There are a couple peacocks with him, and they're not holding, they just ate the jumbo food. Now they're questioning their life choices. Should I have taken 2 pellets? No, you shouldn't have. Look at this beauty. It's about minimum 10 years old. Like I said, usually he eats in my hand, but the light is, he's not enjoying it. So he's eating the natural way for frontosa, which is eating in the sand after everyone else has eaten. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you liked this video. And this was just actually the store section. There's the whole other section, the breeding section that I didn't even touch. Well, in this video, I obviously fed them when the camera was recharging between some shots. Poor fish, of course, yeah. So that's it. If you want mini aquariums, well, you have to feed them all. And every fish has different needs, as you saw, and I cater to all of them. Some like pellets more because they jump on them. Some I know they're shy, so obviously it doesn't make for a great video, but I wanted to show you each and every fish, and that's the reality of it as well. It's not just beautiful fish that jump on food and like go crazy and the big colors. Often, especially in Mbunas, you'll get them small. They're not colorful yet, and they will grow into their colors, or the peacocks as well. Sometimes, you only see pictures of the most beautiful ones, but there are also some in your tank and in the local fish store that aren't 100% colored up, but they will color up with age. So if you like this video, well, there is plenty more where that came from. I post a new video on every week. Subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss a single one. Also, if you want more fishy stuff in between my weekly videos, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, on Twitter, and I have a great website where you can shop online and see all the fish I have for sale. I ship throughout Canada. If you're interested in the fish that I have, well, all my list is on my website. I will put the link in the video description, obviously. So go check it out. On my website, I separated it between African cichlids, freshwater. Yeah, I separated them, whatever. It's just easier that way. I have way too many African cichlids. Saltwater and a plant section. So make sure you check out the right section, because if you're not seeing the fish you want, maybe it's in another one. Also, if you are a fan of my Cichlid Geek t-shirt, there's Fish Geek that's also available. I'll put the link right in the video description. You can get it on my Teespring store. These t-shirts ship out worldwide. So if you watch the video in its entirety, I mean, it's probably gonna be a very long video. Tell me about it in the comments. I'd love to know that people are actually watching these insanely long and huge videos that I make. So tell me about it. Tell me all about that stuff. How long does it take for you to feed your fish? Do you have just one aquarium, a big fish room? Tell me about it. I love to read your stories. And even if I don't answer right away, which I practically never do, I always read them and I try to get back to you as soon as possible. So thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.